So, welcome to another session, another episode of Crypto Talks powered by DX Talks. We're really happy today to add more of those leading women part of our series. I'm really happy to discuss, for the last 3 months we've been involved in this initiative about selecting the top 25 women. Today we're going to be joined by two of them and another special guest, Maral Nouri, who is the CEO of Luna Media Corporation. So first, let me welcome Amalia and Juana, and then directly I'll welcome after that Maral. Hello and welcome to the platform. How are you ladies doing?
Hello, I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Good. Thank you, Joanna.
I'm good too.
Yeah, well, I saw you a couple of hours ago. We had a nice event together and then a nice lunch. And then I got to know you more. I was like more impressed now. So definitely we need to talk about this. And then let's welcome Maral. Hello.
Hi.
I cannot hear you.
Sorry, I'm muted. Apologies. How's
Yeah.
it going?
Hi, how are you doing?
Good, thanks. How are you guys?
Okay, so I have really three leading women, each one in its own space. I'll start by, from my left screen, I'll start by Amalia, if you mind introducing yourself to our audience, and then we'll proceed from there.
My name is Amalia Grochal, and I am a founder of MIRAI DAO. And by chance and by curiosity, I've been following blockchain technology since 2010. And so it was first my passion and curiosity, and it became the industry that I work in nowadays. So I definitely enjoyed the observation on how things evolved and where we are today in terms of enterprise use of blockchain, as well as the open blockchain and cryptocurrency.
Thank you. I'll jump to Juana.
Hello, everyone. I'm Juana Attieh. I'm a Palestinian Jordanian. I'm the co-founder and CPO of Flus, as well as L LKUL, and I'm heavily involved with the Cardano MENA community, as well as very interested in decentralized governance. I stumbled upon blockchain around. I knew the technology for a while, but I worked as a product manager for a crypto payment gateway in Canada and got to understand the technology from a more technical perspective. So I grew a very big appreciation for the technology and all the possibilities that it could bring.
Yeah, thank you. Maral?
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Maral. I'm the CEO of Luna Media Corp. So under us, we have PR, which is our award-winning Web3 PR and marketing agency. We're headquartered here in Dubai, worked with over 600 projects, been around since 2017. And across the board, we've worked with so many different style projects, DeFi, Metaverse, GameFi, you name it in the space, we've probably worked alongside that. Recently, we acquired Cointelegraph Middle East as well. That was back in the summer. So we're doing quite a bit in the media space and hopefully bringing more to this region when it comes to Web3 and crypto and so on.
Great. We got back to you. We have a lot of things to catch up on that space. Amalia, I know your time is very limited with us due to other also parallel engagements. I'd like to understand more. First, what does it mean to be selected as part of a leadership in the space of the women, especially? And secondly, how can we really have more ladies and more women involved in this space?
So for me to be selected as one of the leaders, it feels kind of unreal because I do believe we don't really recognize ourselves on the level that others may recognize us. So for me, I see it as constant learning from each other, no matter how long someone is in the space, on how involved someone is in the space. So in my opinion, is definitely what's important is to stick to what you think and give your personal opinion, which is always honest, and it's always better than being overly polite and give a so-called white lie. and say, yeah, everything is all right. I love this. Although there is something that you might have given comment on for improvement. So the person who would have gotten your comment could have improved. So I do believe it's better to, even if you see something that isn't as positive, just to pinpoint that and talk about it so we can learn from each other and see whether each other's solutions from different point of views. So it's constant learning. It's not even leadership. Not accepted.
How can we have more women involved in this space?
Well, I guess it starts from plenty of women to encourage other women, because I never really experienced any different kind of a treatment in the industry just because I'm a woman. Uh, Actually, I only gotten some better treatment, and although I never asked for it because we always prefer to be treated equally, but I never encountered something negative or being ignored, I guess. um, okay, when someone takes a look at you, when someone does not know you as a person in the industry, they don't know really what to think, so they might ignore first. But as soon as you speak up, as soon as you start a conversation with someone, that definitely changes rapidly. So I guess what is very important is to start the conversation from your side.
Yeah, I think the conversation is on, and I think we should be talking more about this because this is the first thing that we noticed in the space, that there was actually not enough women, even though many of whoever is dealing in this space will somehow argue with me, but the numbers don't lie. In the end of the day, the number of women involved are very few. There are maybe sometimes in technical or IT, maybe there are even more. Maybe on other spaces there are more, but in the blockchain and financial technologies, we don't see them that much. And then we actually hassled a lot to get really selection criterias available for those. And then I'll jump to Joanna. I'll ask you the same question as your colleague.
I think I resonate very highly with Amelia. I think being selected was also kind of a surprise to me. I think because everything I did within this space was really out of passion. Like everything's just been a passion project, and to me, it really proved like when you're passionate about something and it lights your brain on fire and you enjoy it, you can go far and without expectations, which is really beautiful because everything else is like a pleasant surprise. But I think it means a lot because just for the reasons of empowerment, I think being very young in the space and also being a minority, I guess, is it means a lot to be selected. I think it's empowering towards other women to kind of show, like if you love what you do and you're good at it and you're open about it and you just want to teach the ethos.
Yeah, you're back.
Sorry. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't know where we left off, but yeah. So being nominated meant a lot. I think it's a big step, I guess. Also, thank you for the taking the effort to consolidate the women and give them like a voice and recognition. Yeah, it's good.
Great. How can we get more women involved?
I think it's just about maybe leading by example. I think it's about not being afraid to put yourself out there and speak your mind. It's we're in a very special time. We're moving into a digital era, and like unlike anything we've seen before, there's no like restrictions. There shouldn't be bias. There's no social structures. Like we're building a new social structure, and it's very important to not bring over those biases and those discriminations that exist. So I think like just being more empowering towards other women, I think that's something that we could work on much more as women ourselves, is like taking that step forward into empowering other women and teaching and bringing them on. And I think what's cool about this space is you can come from any background and there's room for you. And I think just making that a big note and like saying, what, doesn't matter how much or or how little there's room for you. There's always room for you to grow. There's opportunities because it opens doors for anyone to be involved. So yeah, I think it just starts with education, empowerment, engagement, and just being yourself and being very open and inviting.
Thank you. I'll jump to Maral. Maral, You are the CEO of Luna Media Corporation, and I remember watching an interview for you. It's somehow the company organically was woman. Somehow it's fully woman. I don't know if that changed from that time till now, but I think
Yeah.
that's a great thing. So, but how, in your selection criteria, in the field that you are in the media field, in Web3, what is your idea of women should participate more? How did it come that majority of the company is actually more aligned to women, even though organically it wasn't meant to? But
Yeah. So for us, just to clarify, our executive team is are women, majority of them, like 9 out of 10. Wasn't on purpose. It's just I guess being a PR and marketing agency, and at the time when we were just out of a living room, because we grew exponentially in the last couple of years, but it was, so our CEO Nikita I met her on a yacht party, which is really funny. So I wasn't in the space at all, and she kind of pitched a dream to me and was like, this is what I've been doing. I've been in space 2017. And I kind of just dove in with her and was like, okay, let's do this, because she gave me like the opportunity and platform to get in. She was she was the key for the door. So as we grew exponentially, I don't know why we steered towards women, but we all had to really work together to onboard all these projects. And a lot of the projects we were working with at the time and still to today were very tech heavy, and we're the middleman. We're the ones that translate to the layman's when we're reaching out to the masses. I think now it's a bit different because we'll work with traditional and crypto media, but a lot of what we do is just simple translation to onboard more users, more user acquisition, get people more. So it just happened to be a lot of women getting together, and it's worked. We do have men in the office, of course. We have a team of over 50 in this office here in Dubai, and I can assure you there are men, but for the executive team right now tend to be on the women's side, which is also very empowering and exciting, to be honest. It's I never look at my gender as a barrier, to be honest. I've never felt that way. I have been to conferences where men sometimes will belittle me or say something a bit shady, but it's in one ear out the next. Like, you in this space, like, everyone's so warm and welcoming, and sometimes you just have to, let things go. I've been asked, like, if I invest in tokens, like if they sound cute or things like that, and it's just like, if you only knew what I was doing on the other side, like on the media side, getting all this like crazy press releases and embargo where we know what's going to happen before they do, so we have like big moves to make in the space. It just feels empowering, but at the same time, yeah, I don't know if I steered off from your question, but
Yeah, no, definitely. But one thing that makes, how can we have more, in your opinion, more women involved in the space, possibly on technical, possibly on, leadership side, so that they can participate and kind of, inspire other ladies, because this space is, we really need more and more as we based on the study that we've done. And we're still not there in terms of the numbers. Was it
Yeah.
from coding side? Was it from the knowledge side? Was it from a leadership side? Was it from founders? Was it even on the startup scene? If you look at the startups, you might find 10-to-1 ratio. So what's that thing that we are looking for, and how can we really become a more, not supportive, I would say, but more of an ecosystem that can bridge more women in the space?
Yeah. I think we tend to stereotype sometimes. So like when things are very tech heavy or things like that, we just associate it, I guess, with a more male dominant type of criteria. But to be honest, like, there's so many aspects within the industry where women can be like involved regardless. So like the whole GameFi scene, there's a lot of gamers who are women, and like they, like the development side, there's a lot of them who are really heavily involved when they have their passions for anime and all these other things, and they somehow get involved. For us, as a PR agency, even though we don't, let's say, have our own crypto project, but we're heavily involved, we have a team that's doing events, conferences, graphic design. We're doing, of course, press, marketing campaigns. There's so many ways that they can get involved. And it's just a matter of, like, creating these opportunities like this where we can come up and speak and share it on our socials, and we can amplify the message. And that's how people get involved. Like, I've had a lot of friends come up to me and say, how do I get involved? And it's just a simple, okay, well, let's download a centralized exchange app. Let's somehow step into it. We're throwing an event. Why don't you come? So there's a lot of events where women can get involved. A lot of DAOs are popping up now, women-led DAOs, which is super exciting. I recently went to an event in London, and it was like a women-led organization, and they've started a DAO, and there were lawyers there and engineers, and they've all entered the crypto space. And even for me as a woman, it was still quite intimidating, and artists and all these things, but everyone had such a confidence to be there and say, you know what, like I might not know so much, but I'm getting involved. And it's just, I think we're still very early on, even though I know, of course, it's been around for over 10 years now. I think we're still pretty early on, and we will see a change. I think statistically, it's like 26% of the Web3 industry are women, but I think that number will change. Just wait and watch.
Yeah, I have a comment. Maybe Satoshi Nakamoto is a woman. You know, that would be a nice idea if that happened from Emil.
Maybe Satoshi Nakamoto is a group of women.
I think that's more plausible. Jumping back to you, Amalia, you've been in the space 12 years now, right? You started by mistake.
I guess so.
You started by mistake. That was our discussion today.
No, by curiosity, not a mistake.
By curiosity.
It was intended.
Yeah. Did the curiosity kill the cat, or?
The curiosity funneled in the cat, and the cat cannot get out. It's a
So now
beautiful
you're
box.
stuck.
Cat loves
And
the
then
box.
you're a heavy core person now. This is what I understand.
Sorry?
You're a heavy core person now in terms of this technology.
Well, I do believe that in any kind of tech, there is so much development in different directions where, especially nowadays, for example, I definitely don't know enough about ZK circuits, but I still dabble in DeFi architecture. So I guess everybody has their own specialty, so to say, and we tend to follow special route to kind of develop certain knowledge, certain skills, certain ability to find disruption in architecture to go further, but just the certain root of it, because you cannot know it all. And if you want to know it all, you will have just a general knowledge about everything, but you won't be specifically into something, and you won't be really able to push it further. So I'm trying to funnel into certain direction, which is decentralized finance, and push it further from that side.
Yeah, you're going more of enabling the DeFi
right,
space.
So, for example, we have met today at the event, and in the conversation, it randomly came up as a solution to an everyday problem, and I came up with an architecture of a solution at the table at lunch, just out of nowhere. So I like to create solutions through disruptive DeFi architecture into daily life, real world problems, and bring the real world value onto blockchain as well.
Yeah, I have to ask. I think both of you. I see more adoption of DAO versus something else, and then both of you have a DAO somehow. In your hands. So is it that easy for other women, maybe, for them to get started? Is that the entrance, or is that the key to enter, Joanna, or how is it? How does it go?
I think what a DAO does, namely because of what it is, it gives off the idea that, this is not an organization in any way that's limited to a certain amount of people or type of people that can join. I think it's in its nature open for everyone. So I think just because of what it is, it opens the opportunity for people to feel comfortable to contribute and be a part of it. I think it also, because of its nature as well, you can go in with any knowledge or any curiosity that you have, and you can find your space within. a community. At the end of the day, it's based on top of a community, so it's very welcoming, it's empowering, people are always helping each other. So I think in that aspect, I think it's a very good entry. I think it's disruptive to the way we're going to see organizations and communities built. So, and also I think it's in somehow gives the opportunity for people, there's an anonymity factor to it if you want it to be, so you can also feel comfortable in that sense. So I think because of the way the concept of a DAO just brings forward this idea that like it's welcoming and it's open and you find whatever you're passionate for, you can contribute in any way without anyone, it's a merit thing. It's all about how you can contribute. So it's very special in that aspect. So I think it's a good step forward in onboarding or inviting more people into the space.
Yeah, great. Thank you for that answer. And I think this is the entrance to the space, and this is where, not just the DAO, many other things. And we still need more and more adoption, more and more players. It's a new topic for us. I always say that artificial intelligence took 75 years to reach where it is today. And then we're only talking about heavily artificial intelligence in the last 10 years. So blockchain is only 12 years old or 14 years old now. That was a couple of weeks ago. And this is where I'll jump to Maral. How do you see the space in UAE going for the future? And there's metaverse strategy, and yesterday there was the release of 2031 strategy of UAE. Where do you see that space going, so that can we focus on any elements for the future, or actually it's not that important to focus on? What's your opinion on that?
No, I think it's very promising. Last year, this time, it was starting to, you were starting to hear it on the radio here and there, crypto, metaverse. A year before that, not as much. And then this year, it's just especially since the Metaverse Assembly and Crown Prince, when he announced that they're going to put around, I think it was $5 billion into the metaverse industry as a whole. And then they want to actually measure GDP in the metaverse. So this region is doing a lot. I'm not surprised, because UAE as a whole is always wanting to be the first, the best. And for such an industry, I really like, people are always like, oh, okay, whatever. But for our industry, I think it's super exciting and promising because of how everything's going to evolve. Whereas I think the next 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, we're going to see a lot happen, especially with AI. So the Ministry of AI is very heavily involved in the whole crypto space right now, especially in this region. Their whole team is Emirati, which is fantastic, and they're very open to inviting projects globally on a global scale to come here, open up shop. Of course, there's regulations involved. So Bara is here in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi, it's ADGM. Everyone, and I think that's why a lot of people are coming here now. It's becoming a crypto haven, just because the people are for it, the government is for it as well, and it seems very promising. So I'm excited to see where it goes, and I'm excited that we're all here in this side of the world, because I think we're in the hot spot for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I think I agree with you on your analysis and how things are going. I'll jump to Amalia before she goes, and then we'll start winding this. What's your last words that you can share with us before you leave, and then any recommendation?
You surprised me. Last words.
Not last words. We'll be hearing from you more.
I guess what I wanted to pinpoint that I want not only women but everyone in crypto and blockchain to focus on is that to show everyone, including governments and companies, that blockchain, even though not necessarily created from day one as enterprise grade, can still be used for enterprises and governmental entities as well. Like any layer 0 Cosmos SDK, where you have private subnet, where the data is only known by the entity that deploys it, plus beacon chain. So imagine if you have multiple entities that have that private subnet when they store data or they use it for supply chain management, they can choose to communicate the particles of data for the public chain. So the communication is very fast, their verification is very fast. For example, different governmental entities towards each other, or two companies towards each other. So I do believe we shall start pinpointing a use case as part of enterprise blockchain of regular, so to say, blockchains like Ethereum, Polygon, or anything else.
Yeah. Any recommendation you can give
As in?
for our participants that they can, act upon? You have a question in the chat. I'll ask it to you in 1 minute after the recommendation.
So what I recommend for women on how to start to get involved, I guess the first step would be to, there's so many events, especially in Dubai and Abu Dhabi nowadays, where there are many open events. There are also smaller events, which are weekly events, and you can find them on any free open website like Eventbrite and so on. Just go tap in and listen. You don't even have to engage yourself in the conversation first, but that's definitely a first step to comment. It doesn't have to be a huge event. It could be much smaller community event where you will just meet people. It's like meeting new people. It doesn't mean anything. You don't even have to engage yourself in presentation or conversation, but just the first step is to start and physically show up, and then everything will happen as a chain reaction.
Yeah. We had this Sunday Cardano community event, part of the global summit of Cardano. And part of at one point of time, we had, I think, 150 or plus minus. And then when I asked the question, there was around 7 or 8 ladies involved. So the question comes in now to as Lamia. She wanna thank you, Amalia. Would you be her mentor? And then she had a follow-up question.
That's a huge responsibility.
Or would you create a mentorship group for other ladies, or initiative, I would say, for such a thing? What do you think about that idea, maybe empowering other women in such a way?
Of course, we can create a group and we can share events that we know of to get involved and meet in person. And I don't know where to start. I guess the questions are a good start.
I think education is key here. And then with that, I'd like to thank you, Amalia, before you go. I know you're jumping directly into another event. Yeah. So with that, I'd like to thank you and wind down with Juana and Maral. Thank you and see you soon.
Thank you so much. Bye, guys.
So Joanna, I'll jump to you, and then I'll try to, because you are one of the organizers in Cardano Summit Dubai. And what was your take on maybe having more women involved, or maybe seeing more women? And is education the right key, as she was saying, to get to start and then, jumpstart this space?
Yeah, I think maybe I can give advice on how you can get started, because I think also what's very off-putting about Web3 is how much noise there is and how complicated it can get so fast, And if you don't have the technical background, if you don't even have remotely any background to do with all of this, you can get overwhelmed and just don't want to be involved. So I think the first thing is just find what you're truly passionate about, and then try to find use cases in Web3 that are related to where your passions are. And then just be insatiably curious. I think intellectual curiosity leads to specific knowledge, and specific knowledge is really what will take you far with an industry like ours. We're moving towards a lot of merit-based systems, credibility, where you can really build yourself based on what you can provide. And like Amalia was saying, or that we're building a whole new system. Blockchain is not just about the technology. There's sociological factors, legal factors, there's a whole world that you can get involved in any way. And there's projects that are being built that cater to any sort of passion. And it's a creator's economy. And if you're a creator, you're going to find your space. So I think just taking it back to find what your passions are, be very curious. Don't be afraid to ask questions, what really puts my mind at ease, because it's very easy to get imposter syndrome so fast. It's just you know what, no one really knows anything yet. Everyone knows what they know, and it's fine. And no question is a bad question, you know. And everyone here is so passionate. That's something that I got from the summit as well. Like, yes, we're in a bear market with the amount of people that came, and just being so like, you know, it goes to show also when you're passionate about something, it's really about the technology and the change. And I think that's what's so powerful about the Cardano MENA community, is just that, like, everyone's just so willing to help. Like, I find myself talking for hours just because I'm passionate about this. And there's so many people like me, and it's just about putting yourself out there and not being shy, you know, and just finding your space within this whole world that we're going into. So yeah. Definitely.
Thank you for that. Yeah, I think what Cardano event showed this Sunday, you know, there was challenge of Formula One, there was a challenge of World Cup starting, you know, and then we still had people after almost 7 p.m. that they don't want to leave. So it was like kind of, you know, it's like the event is finished at 6 from, it started at 10:30, but it's finished at 6, but they're still going on. So they still want to learn more. Before I jump to Maral and ask Maral about how did she get started in this space, how did she learn, what was the tips and tricks maybe she can share with us, I just want to thank our beautiful judges that they did the hard work of selecting the 25 top women. I'll start by saying thank you again to Kokilla, Iman, Randa, Raluca, Nisreen, Layla, Khulud, and Amna. So I want to thank them again for the hard work, because at one point of time I remember, you know, all of them calling me, how can we filter that out? And it's hard to filter out of all those names that applied or has been nominated. So thank you again. And as Bob said, upload to you, ladies. So Maral, how did you get started? What was maybe in the beginning things that you wanted to learn? I know there's a lot of, as Joanna said, you get overwhelmed. But how did you kept on, you know, focusing, updating yourself, because there's a lot of things to learn every day, and then you get bombarded by so many projects, each one in its space.
Yeah, for sure. So for me, so for a lot of people, it's like the tech that is amazing for them or attractive to them. For me, honestly, it was the money opportunity. I think it's just a personality thing. So when it came to investing in projects, that's what really sparked my interest. So of course, looking at the utility and the what's going on in the background of the project, whether it's a layer 1 or layer 2 blockchain solution or whatever. But it was during COVID, obviously locked in my house. I downloaded eToro because I didn't know like how to get involved. Like the first thing everyone says is, how do I get involved? How do I trade? And then how do I take my money out? So like that's what I wanted to learn. So I downloaded eToro, not really knowing, and there was like an option to trade virtual assets, and then I just did, and I didn't really even understand what eToro was at the time. And then I met our CEO Nikita Sachdev on a yacht party. And that was in late 2020. And she told me, I've just moved from the US. I have about 5 clients here right now. We're a PR and marketing agency in crypto. How much do you know? And at the time, just to be transparent, I knew absolutely nothing. And as much as that's like, well, you're the CEO of a company that's kind of a PR and marketing agency, at least leading in the Web3 space in this region, it's like, if anything, it's very it should be inspiring to women in the space, because like I learned quite exponentially because I was kind of thrown in the deep end, but because this community is so open and willing to strive, it allowed me you know, to grow very quickly and adapt. So I was almost forced into it, to be honest, because we were a team of 5 and we started onboarding more clients. And as we onboarded, we hired and onboarded and hired. So at an all-time high during a bull market, we had over 120 clients, which was insane. I think we were doing like 18-hour days at the time, which is fantastic. But I was almost forced, because we would have DeFi clients. So I was learning how to stake, because we even like to take skin in the game and get involved in these projects. Because if we're going to help them on the PR and marketing, why not somehow get involved? Take maybe some allocation in tokens and things like that. So it kind of forced me to get involved. So I learned how to stake because we had clients who are DeFi clients, or I started collecting NFTs because we onboarded NFT clients. So just being involved on a daily basis made me get involved. And of course, during that bull market, I had like amounts of money where I remember investing in SHIB when it was like 2021. April or something like that. And if I kept my investment by December, my $1,000 would have been 30,000 or whatever it was. And obviously I sold it, but making those mistakes and getting involved in trading and investing and all that kind of made me, forced me to learn. So if I can do it, definitely anyone can do it. So.
It's interesting how you got started, interested in investment, but then it changed. You're more interested also in the technology, learning about the technology and so on and so on. There was a comment from Marie Clemence, which says more or less the same as you. She started with eToro thinking she owns the crypto tokens to discover that she didn't back in 2017. Same as you, I think. I remember also I didn't start with eToro, but at one point of time, I got an eToro account thinking of my naive naivety that it's about crypto, but it wasn't about crypto when they were literally just selling the numbers.
Yeah, and it's actually very difficult to take crypto out of eToro and send it to a central exchange or decentral exchanges. So it's like super not convenient compared to your actual like crypto exchanges.
Yeah, because you don't own anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Great. Joanna, any last words and recommendations? So before we continue our episode.
No, I just wanted to thank you for this opportunity. It's also really amazing to be talking alongside women like you guys. It's very inspirational as well. Recommendations, I think I've given all my recommendations. Just honestly throw yourself out there and enjoy the journey. It's really fun. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot to be involved. It's still very new. It's so amazing to work alongside passionate people as well. So I think it's pretty disruptive, and we're still very early. So don't get overwhelmed. That's all I have to say. Thanks again, Rudy.
Maral, any last words?
No, I agree. I agree with everything that's been said tonight. Super inspirational to hear the ladies and what they've accomplished in their time. And I'm just looking forward to what's going to happen in the future for all of us. And I agree. Like, women shouldn't be scared to enter the space. The worst someone can ever say to you is actually no when you ask a question or say something that's going to reject it, but you just move on and continue asking and educate yourself and get out there. It's definitely.
I love that thing, that advice that you give. Don't take no for an answer. Keep on going, because it happens in anything, crypto, blockchain. If you want to even learn in your university, sometimes might come and tell you no. So Ali says, learn, and education is key. And testing, I think this is where you have to burn your hands more and more in this space. So anyhow, thank you, ladies. You've been a blessing on this talk show. Lovely having you. We'll be talking more, and then let's continue our normal episode with Tay. We'll see you soon, definitely. Hopefully to meet up in person, Maral, and then to get to know you even more.
Yeah, of course. Likewise. Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks, Rudy. Bye, guys.
So, more inspirational women, more inspirational leaders, understanding how things works, how you can get supported in this community. Do join events, do join WhatsApp groups, do join and learn and get your information updated so that you can challenge in your space and other spaces. So remember about the fraud. The fraud is all-time high, also similar to opposite to the market. The more it's bearish, the more there's fraud and there's scenarios of fraud. So be careful that you don't fall victim for impersonation. I have a lot of fake accounts that are on the internet. Make sure don't fall in any of those. Verify, and we don't ask for anything to trade. We don't ask for money. So make sure that you verify before you send anything. There will be today. We started the Agora Global Blockchain Congress. It's happening for 2 days. So make sure you join them. And if not, we'll see you tomorrow. So today we hosted the 2 ladies out of the rest of the crew. We're hosting them as we move. the top 25 women in fintech and blockchain, and hopefully they can inspire you and the rest. You'll be hearing soon about the Cardano press release, where we'll be releasing more information and more photos about the event. Do join the LinkedIn or WhatsApp group. It was an amazing event that we organized for Cardano in the region. I think it was super successful, and the people, as we mentioned in the episode, they just get together and they just want to share information and more projects and learn. So with that, I'll jump to enable Tay and welcome Tay. Tay, how are you doing?
تحياتي لك رودي ولجميع المتابعين على كريبتو توكس. كيفك؟
Hi Tay. I'm very good. انت شو اخبارك؟
All is good, man. All is good. It was a busy week. Mainly يعني FTX بعدنا بالزوبعة. بس in general week 47 was good. We're excited to be here again with you today.
Great. Tay عنده big technical problem. Hopefully next week will be solved.
إن شاء الله next week we'll be back on camera.
Yeah, definitely. So Tay أنا رح أترك لك الفلور لك.
شكرا رودي. تحياتي مرة جديدة لكل المتابعين على كريبتو توكس. نحن بالأسبوع 47 week 47 من السنة، يعني بيفصلنا أسابيع قليلة عن نهاية 2022 والأحداث الغير متوقعة اللي كانت مع FTX. ما بنعرف كيف كان السيناريو لأسواق العملات الرقمية لو كان حدث FTX ما صار ما حصل، وهل كنا حنشوف البيتكوين على 30 و40 ألف على نهاية السنة مثل ما كانت معظم التوقعات عم تشير وعم تقول. ولكن سواء الكريبتو ماركتس في كتير uncertainty، بس في طرق للواحد يقدر يتجنب مخاطر هيدي الانسرتينتيز. بالاسبوع 47 الاون تشين داتا يلي عم تعطينا اياها جلاس نود عم تقول الاكسشينج اوت فلوز، يعني كل شيء كريبتو او بيتكوين عم يطلع من المنصات وعم يروح للمحافظ الذاتيه كان بكميات كتير كبيره. عمل all time high historical record للاكسشينج outflows. بيتكوين is leaving exchanges وعم يروح على non custodial wallets. جلاس نود as well ارجتنا هيدا الاسبوع انه بمجمل البوزيشنز تبعهم aggregating all their positions they are underwater. و long term holders كانوا من الفئات يلي عم تصرف عم يصير في spending coins at a significant rate. شو هو هيدا significant rate اللي بنحكي عنه؟ تقريبا 1.5 billion dollars a day كان النت losses للبي تي سي هولدرز، والاوتفلو من الاكسشينج لهيدا الشهر كان minus 172,000 بيتكوين. معناتها في 172 ألف بيتكوين خرجت من المنصات المركزية واتجهت للمحافظ الذاتية، وهيدا كان أكبر من السيل اوف يلي شفناه بجون 2022 مع انهيار تيرا لونا واليو اس تي. withdrawal transaction عند الاكسشينجز ارتفع ل 47.4%. This is the highest level year to date لهيدي السنة. والدوميننس كمان على السيل اوف ايفنتس كان في short term spikes بهيدا الشهر. This is mainly الداتا اللي عم ناخدها من جلاس نود. So هل في انحدار او استسلام للاسواق؟ بعد يعني بنشوف اليوم كمان هلا بسياق الحلقه في تقرير طالع من كوين تيليجراف عن الاكسبكتيشن للبيتكوين برايس بوتوم. معظم التحليلات اليوم رودي عم تصب او عم تركز on finding the bottom، وين البيتكوين حيستقر، شو القاع اللي حيوصل له لحتى نرجع نشوف ريفرسل والاسعار ترتفع شوي شوي. So Rudy, we can start. بهذا الاسبوع البدايه كانت مع باينانس، وباينانس سي او عمل تويت او تغريده على تويتر شكك فيها بالبروف اوف ريزيرفز للشركه اللي بينافسها هو كوين بيس، ولكن رجع عمل ديليت لهيدي التويت بعد ما صار في مكالمه هاتفيه بينه وبين براين ارمسترونغ اللي هو الرئيس التنفيذي وشريك مؤسس لكوين بيس. على تويتر براين ارمسترونغ صرح انه لازم نحن نشتغل ونتعامل سوا لكشف الاشاعات والاكاذيب يلي تتناول على تويتر، خاصة انه كوين بيس is a public traded company وسجلاتهم والحسابات تبعولهم مفتوحة للعامة. سو هون سيزاد رجع حب التويت وعمل لها ديليت. هلا كانت كافية هيدي الدقائق او الساعات القليلة انه تشكل شوية زوبعة بالكريبتو ماركتس، لانه كمان تصريحات سيزاد الرئيس التنفيذي لباينانس كمان كان لها تاثير بالسيل اوف اللي شفناه مع FTX. وFTX بعدها عم يعني تاخذ الاضواء كلها للاسبوع الماضي ولهيدا الاسبوع، لانه FTX مثل ما عرفنا الاسبوع الماضي اشهرت افلاسها، والامادا ريسيرش كمان اشهرت افلاسها، وفي خوف من دومينو من الافلاسات بدها تصير. عم نحكي فوق ال 150 شركه لها ارتباط بشكل مباشر او غير مباشر مع FTX والاميدا ريسيرش. بمجمل يعني اذا نبسط الواقع اليوم، FTX طبعت توكنز وعطت هيدا التوكن ك كولاترال، واخذت مقابله USDC اللي هو stable coin and you can liquidate it directly. فصار في سوء استخدام لهيدي الاموال، وبما انه ال FTT توكن نزل سعره ووقف التداول فيه، ما عاد فيهم الدائنين انه يسترجعوا مصرياتهم من هيدي الديبوزيتس المحطوطه او من الكولاترالز المحطوطه. صار في عندنا حاله بانك ران، واكبر من حاله البانك ران هي حاله الفرود يلي صارت ب FTX. وهيدا كان التركيز من كريبتو نيوز، عم يحكي المحامي تبع FTX الخسائر بالمليارات ومئات المليارات، ويمكن تكون من أكبر عملية إفلاس بتاريخ الشركات الأمريكية كلها. حنشوف بعد شوي كمان مين هن أكبر 50 دائن ل FTX، وحنشوف قد ايه كمان كل يعني كل مجموعه قد ايه حجم الديون عندها. كوين تيليجراف مثل ما قلنا قبل شوي عملت تقرير صغير عن البيتكوين برايس بوتوم، وبحسب ويل بول يلي استندت له تيليجراف بهذا التقرير، ويل ماب يلي هن عندهم اون تشين اناليتيك سوفت وير كمان بيحلل معاملات البيتكوين اون تشين. بحسب التحليلات يلي طالعه من اون تشين اناليتكس بلاتفورم ويل ماب، بتقول انه لنوصل للبوتوم، لنوصل للقاع، لازم يكون الاون تشين اللوسز، الخسائر يلي بنشوفها على الاون تشين داتا بتزيد عن كميه الارباح يلي كانت قبل ما نفوت بالبول ران هيدي السنه. سو بدنا نرجع لبدايه البول ران قبل هيدي الفتره، الارباح يلي تمت بهيدي الفتره لازم تنمحى وينحط لها خسائر لحد ما نقدر نقول نحن وصلنا للقاع. سو 14,000 بين ال 14 لل 15,000 يمكن يكون القاع اذا اعتمدنا هيدي النظريه. So the losses from 629 million to 1 billion are still needed so that we can confirm a full market capitulation. نرجع ل FTX رودي، وعندنا 50 large claims من customers على FTX، وهول 50 they owe $21 million or more. عندنا كمان 50 creditor that they filed their books on I think it was last week، وعندك 10 out of them عندهم $100 مليون ديون مسجله على FTX. هيدي الاموال اكيد لانه الاسيتس انصرفت في بروبرتي بالبهاماس باسماء SPF، باسماء موظفين وحتى باسماء اهله. 19 residential villa مسجلين بالبهاماس under the people that we just mentioned. FTX filed bankruptcy at the District of Delaware، واليوم عم يتم يعني جدول هيدي الديون، وكمان تقارير بتقول انه تكلفه المدير التنفيذي ل FTX لاعاده جدوله هيدي الديون سعته $1,300. So we doubt, or it's my personal opinion, انه I doubt that those people will see their money back. But yeah, let's see how this will unfold. It is unfolding. All are انه Genesis is near bankrupt. Genesis يلي هي احد هولي ال 50 creditor على FTX. بالعلم انه القاضي بقضيه افلاس FTX in Delaware حذف الاسماء من اللوائح يلي عم يصير يعني التداول فيها بالمحكمه، لا يقدر يحمي خصوصيه هيدي الناس، لانه اذا اسماء او عناوينها والكميات من المصاري اللي بتملكها صارت بالعامه، ممكن يتعرضوا لعمليات قرصنه، لعمليات نصب اكثر واكثر. عاده هيدا الشيء ما بيصير، لازم الريكوردز تكون بابليك مع الاسماء، ولكن عطوا يعني القاضي سمح، عطى اذن خاص انه يتم شطب هيدي الاسماء بالمحكمه. ما في بعد مصادر موثوقه، ولكن حسب نيويورك تايمز عم يقولوا انه جينيسيس جلوبال كابيتال عينت مثل شركه بتختص بامور الافلاسات، واحد البوتنشال options that Genesis Global Capital and Investment Bank Moelis Company is discovering هو البانكربسي اوبشن. ليش؟ لانه Genesis that is owned by Digital Currency Group يعني لهم اكسبوجر على الاف تي اكس كولابس، وعم نحكي الاكسبوجر يلي عندهم اياه تقريبا بال 250 مليون دولار. So there's a big chance that Genesis might declare bankruptcy، واذا صار هيدا الشيء انا هون بتوقع ساعتها انه يمكن نكون وصلنا للقاع، لانه DGC and Genesis Global Capital is one of the large players in the market, it could give a sign that the storm is coming to an end واخر احجار الدومينو وقعت. let's rebuild from there. هيدي هي رودي كانت يعني most of the news مثل ما ذكرنا عم تحكي عن FTX. عم نشوف ال outflows from exchanges going into non-custodial wallets. and in my opinion as Bitcoin price is still holding, يعني في بعد power under that price stability على 16 15000. it didn't go down lower than 15,500. بنحب كمان نذكر، نسيت هيدي الخبريه يمكن اهم خبريه بهذا الاسبوع، لايت كوين عندهم بعد 8 شهور الهافينج. so that's why we saw a run on Litecoin. Litecoin ارتفع 40% من الاسبوع الماضي لليوم. كانت الهافينج ايفنت هي التريجر. اللايتكوين مثل البيتكوين every 4 years it halves into 50%, and the next halving is happening in 8 months. والبلوك ببطل يعطينا 12.5 لايتكوين، بصير يعطينا 6.25 لايتكوينز. so بقصه يعني اللايتكوين شفنا هيدا الرالي ب August 26 2015 وشفنا هيدا الرالي in August 5 2019, and in both cases بعد الفيرست هافينج والسكند هافينج وهلا نحن عم نروح على الثيرد هافينج. it was clear that prior to 6 months of the halving event that Litecoin has already reached bottom. So the bottom for Litecoin might be $66 based on the historical data, and it can turn from a bearish to a bullish trend in the coming months, on a condition that we don't see any more FTX like events. وهيك رودي بنكون نهينا من عندي انا الابديت for this week, and we're open for questions.
Thank you تاي على الابديت. I think هيك كانت summary شو عم بيصير، وهون اجينا سؤالين على هالموضوع. بس لحظة. علي عم بيقول FTX screwed everyone in one way or another. It did. في قبل we shared a graph. هلا I'll try to see if it's available. قديش معقدة FTX and على مدى الستراكشر تبعهم، وقديش صاروا مثل الأخطبوط فاتوا بماني initiatives، غير الموضوع اللي فتحوا آخر شيء جمعية خيرية بالمعنى. yeah indeed. هون عم بيسأل علي كمان what happened to FTX to USDT or USDC sorry, is that's why everyone is afraid يمكن من USDC قصده؟
USDC I think الإفكت الأكبر لهم كان من Binance consolidating all USDC transactions under BUSD. هيدا الشيء خلق pressure على USDC, و I think their market cap went down by $30-40 billion from last week until today. So yeah, it is at least USDC عنده شوية transparency أكتر من USDT ومدعوم من BlackRock, and BlackRock is the mother of all ships when it comes to investments.
Okay. هون عم بقول how can we trust DEXs؟ أما لا it's time to build. كنت عم بسأل أنا how can we trust DEXs؟
هلا how can we trust DEXs? In crypto we always say you should not trust, you should verify. So
هون رح كمل
communities.
سؤالي تاني. How can you verify Binance?
Okay, how can
Virtually
we
you cannot.
No, you cannot. هلا هون نحن عم نحكي اصلا يمكن على البروف اوف ريزيرفز اليوم. كمان I think it's a important piece of news to share. Coin Market Cap عندهم a new interface to show proof of reserves of exchanges. هل هيدي الداتا نحن مفروض بالعميانة نوثق فيها؟ لا. افضل شيء واحد يوثق فيه هو حاله، واذا عنده a substantial amount of crypto وعنده البوسيبيليتي انه يخليها على wallet تدعم التوكن يلي هو بيحمله، do that. بنخلي الاسيتس يلي بدنا نعمل تريدينج فيهم، يلي بدنا نقلبهم لكوين تانية، اوكي we can keep them on an exchange. بس بديل لهيدي العمليات السوابينج خاصة and trading حنشوف I think in the coming 2-3 years كمان more innovations coming into decentralized derivatives on DEXs, perpetuals on DEXs, lending, borrowing. عم نشوف DEXs is taking a big portion of borrowing and lending in the crypto markets. So how can we trust that? We have to verify it. How to verify it? We have to be part of the community. Being part of the community means عندنا exposure on almost daily basis. شو عم يصير بهيدا البروجكت، شو عم يصير بهيدا الدكس مثلا. إذا عندنا technical knowledge to assess and read code and do mathematical analysis and do projections and put scenarios on where things can fail. كمان you can do your own analysis وtrial and error. بدنا نستعمل الدكس، نعمل اغلاط ونتعلم. that's how we learn. بس نخلي دائما هيدي الفكره براسنا، do not trust, verify. هيك anything that is coming our way نقدر نحن to take personal initiative and do verifications on it.
Great. أنا حطيت على الشاشة هلا I shared الأبديت تبع كوين ماركت كاب اللي عم يفرجونا كيف صرنا نحن بنقدر نعمل checking على reserves.
Yes.
So أول ما نفوت هون على الكوين ماركت كاب راح يعطينا مثل بوب أب، راح لنا إنه في new exchange reserve data. Safety come first, and that means being transparent with the crypto space. Look out for this icon on the financial reserves of various exchanges. هلا المشكل اللي كمان نحن واقعين فيه انه there's two ways to verify، مش to verify، to update this. وحده a company says انه نحن عملنا audit when this is the audit report. Should we trust the audited report or not? That's another thing. We've seen in life sometimes audit reports happening, but in reality it's not. So again, مثل ما قال always take your stuff out. تنطلع هون إذا بتلاحظوا باينانس زادت، صار عندها وحدة كو كوين، صار عندها كمان. هن كانوا من السباقين اللي عم يعلنوا الاوديتورز تبعولهم انه هن they got audited. اوكي اكس وحده منهم وبلشوا يعلنوا انه نحن عملنا auditing. هيدا نكبس عليها بنشوف انه total assets total volume مع total assets موجوده كلها هون and financial reserves كله موجود. You can read it and then understand more what are their full reserves. BUSD around 14 billion BUSD على price $1 USDT.
And the contract is there, Rudy. يعني under BUSD you can see you can copy that contract. You go on the blockchain of BUSD اللي هي Binance blockchain, and you can find it there.
You can try to
Binance Explorer BNB. أنا قاعد عم دور على كلمة Explorer and it slipped my mind. على ال BNB Explorer you can paste the
see,
contract there. Yeah.
And here we go.
Okay, here we go. This is 1.1 billion. هلا هيدي الداتا هون اللي عم نشوفها. This cannot be manipulated. لأنه they need to manipulate the whole blockchain transaction infrastructure to be able to do that.
And this is the movement.
Exactly. So this is what we mean by trust, do not trust, verify. فأنا أبعت لك smart contract transaction اقول لك I have 1,000 Bitcoin in this address, or خلينا نقول 1,000 Binance coin in this address, then I can click on it and see how many BNBs sit in this address. مش معناتها انه that address is for me، لانه for it to be for me انا لازم يكون معي البرايفت كي لاقدر اعمل signing and move money from this wallet. But at least I can أرجيك no, I claim this to be for me and I can move money if I want.
Yeah, great.
لأنه هيدي كمان أحد الفرودز اللي بنشوفها رودي بالماركت، إنه أنا بقول لك والله بدي بيع 1000 حبة بيتكوين أو 1000 BNB، فببعت لك كونتراكت عليه 1000 BNB، بس it doesn't mean إنه هيدا الكونتراكت لإلي. عرفت؟ For it to be for me, I need the private keys. I need you to send
أكيد
to another BNB address 1 like 0.01 or 0.001.
So with that أنا بطل في أسئلة تاي. بتشكرك. Hope you have a great week ahead. We'll
Thank
see
you,
you next week.
Thank you, Rudy.
If you have any last words قبل ما نفل.
No, thank you.
Thank you and عليهم.